Hello everybody, welcome back to Rationally Speaking. I'm Martin Turner. This is my colleague and co-host, Stuart Carrington. I think that, as you said earlier, it's evolving, isn't it?
Yeah.
RBT. And it feels to me like the book that I always recommend is Ellis, Reason and Emotion, 1994.
Okay.
Because I think that it hasn't evolved much since then.
Sure.
But up to then, it evolved quite a
lot, yeah.
bit, I would say. Ellis starts with, say, 11 or 12 irrational beliefs. Well, he starts with loads.
Yeah.
Right. Then he collapses them down, 11 or 12. And then he fixes on 4. I'm probably saying the 4th is split into 2.
Yeah.
So it is evolving. It's evolving much slower than it did from the 60s probably, or the 50s to the 90s. But that 94 book, I think that's how we see REBT now. I think that captures REBT.
Okay.
And he covers that in the early chapters. Then he moves on to different ideas in REBT, like he covers self-actualization, for example, from an REBT perspective. It's, because you're constantly writing. And I think that's one of the ways that we can do the work of Ellis as we continue with REBT. It's doing the research, but trying to write in a creative way that starts to apply REBT and challenges it. For example, a recent paper I published was on REBT and the hero's journey, or the monomyth. Mm-hmm. How do we nest REBT within this kind of mythological narrative structure called the hero's journey, to help people to understand the process of REBT and make sense of it, keep track of the process. It's to write in those creative ways and explore the boundaries of REBT. And I think that's where we get the evolution from, as well as scientifically testing it as rigorously as we possibly can.
Yep.
And that means, like the work that you're doing, going into new populations. It also means developing measurement tools that really test and measure the theory in a comprehensive manner, and to shape how we see beliefs and where they fit and how they fit together and what they cause and don't cause and in what context do they do that. So I think it is something that is kind of evolving. But I would say that 94 book is a decent one for people to go to get Ellis's words on this is what the theory really is. It's a good go-to book, I would say. What would be your recommendation for a book?
Without doubt, The Rational Practitioner. Jokes aside, The Rational Practitioner is a great overview.
Yeah, well, it was designed to be comprehensive, yes. But I'm basically taking Ellis 1994 in a way, and treating that as the jump off point, and exploring that in way more detail than he did. Yeah. But it's still, it's genetically, it's closely related. That's the father of that book. Sure. Is the 1994 book.
Okay. I'll cheat and have 2. So I like Ellis and Dryden, 97.
97, yeah.
Yeah, Fundamentals of REBT, and I like Dryden and Branch, 2008. Yeah, the practice. So that one, when I was physically doing the interventions, that was a really wonderful handbook for me. Yeah. And I find the Ellis and Dryden one useful for the theory aspects.
That's where I started. That orange Ellis and Dryden 97 book was the one that I went through and taught myself how to use REBT just before I was trained. I was like, if I can learn it from here and give it a go, then I can build my confidence in it. And then I went to train. That Branch one is just super useful for techniques, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
structure.
The disputation. That's kind of like the D book.
Yeah. But also, my book is very comprehensive, Rational Practitioner, but so is the D. Giuseppe and colleagues, 2014, sometimes cited as 13. But it's a handbook, big green book, and that's very comprehensive around theory and practice. And there's a yellow book, again, D. Giuseppe and colleagues, Ellis is in there, Dryden's in there. It's a book about the belief side of things. It's kind of irrational and rational belief side of things. And that's a really good book to go to. 2010, that one. I think it's David Dryden and Lynn, but it's got all the usual suspects in there. There's some great books in this field. I think REBT is one of those practices, one of those therapies where you're not short of content.
Absolutely
things
not.
to read.
Yeah.
But nothing can replace training. You know, it, and I experienced that myself. I read as much as I could, and then when I got trained, I realised there's things I didn't know that I couldn't have read. And then when I went on to the advanced, it was the same again. And I did advanced years after I did the primary, and I was still learning things from the experts there, who were really doing this every day with usually more clinical clients. So they're iterating it so often that you know. So I think reading what you can, our suggestions are quite decent probably, but also get yourself trained in REBT if you're interested in doing that.
Absolutely.
It's a worthwhile experience.
I can really advocate that the primary practicum is a fantastic starting point to understand this, how you might apply the theory.
Yes.